Mazda sits in an unusual region of the US automotive market. Too upscale to be a mainstream brand, yet far more attainable than a luxury make, this Japanese automaker occupies the gray area between the everyday and the extravagant. Now, naturally, this unique positioning does provide some big benefits, though there can be downsides as well, as this 2026 CX-90 plug-in hybrid proves. For help finding your next ride, check out the GreenCars Buyer's Guide. This easy-to-use tool lets you quickly compare a range of efficient vehicles to find the model that's right for you. To learn more, head over to greencars.com. The future of driving starts here. Just look at that. Is there a prettier three-row utility vehicle on the road today? There may not be. The CX-90's exterior styling is so clean and elegant, it makes practically every other SUV out there look tacky in comparison. Front and center, that mesh-textured grille looks great, plus it's flanked by standard LED headlamps with automatic high beams. The CX-90's flanks are super sleek, free of weird trim or wild swooshes. Those 21-inch wheels make this model look planted, and the tight, laser-straight panel gaps give the impression that Mazda really cares about the little things. Finally, this SUV's rounded rear end looks great too, and this mid-range premium sport model includes a power hatch for added convenience. And while we're back here, let's talk about versatility. The CX-90 PHEV provides 15.9 cubic feet of cargo space, but that jumps to 40.8 with the third row folded and 75.2 when you drop the second row backrests. Anyway, I'll tell you how this Mazda compares to a couple rival SUVs in just a minute, and then we'll go for a drive. But first, let's talk about what's under the hood. So this right here is a plug-in hybrid powertrain, and they really provide the best of both worlds. Just like a pure electric vehicle, this Mazda has a relatively large battery pack that provides decent electric-only range and can be charged up at home. But beyond that, we also have a 2.5-liter four-cylinder gasoline engine as well as an 8-speed automatic transmission. So when you need extra performance or that battery pack is completely depleted, the engine and transmission will power this vehicle, and you can basically drive until the gas tank is empty because the Mazda here operates just like a conventional hybrid. However, for the best efficiency possible, you definitely want to plug this thing in. Proving this, when running on electricity and gasoline, the CX-90 plug-in hybrid here should return 56 miles per gallon equivalent, or MPGE for short. When the engine, however, is doing all the work, expect just 26 mpg, a pretty stark difference. But anyway, let me close the hood here, and then we'll check out this Mazda's lovely interior. Just like the exterior, this cabin is absolutely gorgeous. The design is super elegant, plus most of the controls are well placed and easy to use. The materials are also nicer than what you get in some luxury vehicles, especially this soft, coarsely textured section right on the dashboard. Speaking of the instrument panel, which is absolutely beautiful to look at, this vehicle also has physical climate controls, which I absolutely love because they're easy to see and operate. Beyond that, we've got two 12.3-inch displays on the dashboard, a digital instrument cluster, as well as a central touchscreen. Plus this CX-90, it even has a head-up display. Mazda's infotainment system is as unusual as ever, requiring you to use this control dial here on the center console. Curiously, this setup is not touch-enabled, and I have no idea why, but fortunately, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are both supported, and they utilize the touchscreen just like that. This premium sport model also comes with heated and ventilated front seats that power adjust in 8 directions. And I'll tell you, the seat heating is incredibly effective. It gets so hot you could practically fry an egg. Beyond that, the steering wheel is heated and it's leather wrapped, though the finish here is super slippery, so be aware of that. The second row seats here are very comfortable as well, plus in this model, they're heated too. As for the third row, it's a very tight squeeze for adults, but kids, they'll be perfectly fine back there. But now, let's see how this elegant Mazda compares to a couple other three-row SUVs, though like I mentioned earlier, the CX-90 here does sit in kind of an unusual place in the market because it's more upscale than mainstream offerings like the Kia Sorento or Mitsubishi Outlander, though it's not quite as nice as luxury vehicles like the Volvo XC90 or Lexus TX550H+. Though that is one advantage this Mazda has over the Lexus, and that is a much shorter name. Regardless, the Kia and Mitsubishi are much closer to this Mazda in pricing than either the Volvo or Lexus, so let's see how all three of these SUVs compare when it comes to performance, all-electric range, and of course, pricing. With regular grade gas in the tank, this Mazda serves up 319 system horsepower, but if you spring for 93 octane premium, that figure increases to 323. In comparison, the Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid should have 268 system horsepower, while the Outlander PHEV, which was significantly updated for the 2026 model year, has an impressive 297. When it comes to all-electric range, the CX-90 tops out at a modest 26 miles. At 31, the Kia bests that score, but the Mitsubishi has the longest tailpipe emissions-free legs here, with an estimated electric-only range of 45 miles, courtesy of its 22.7 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Finally, we've got to talk about pricing. So the plug-in hybrid CX-90's entry-level preferred trim should start around $52,225 with $1,530 in destination fees. Now, the equivalent base Kia Sorento undercuts that a bit, kicking off just shy of $50,000 with $1,495 for delivery. And finally, the Mitsubishi Outlander is even more affordable, checking out at roughly $45,525 with $1,795 for shipping. The Mazda is easily the best looking of this trio, and its interior is so nice. However, the Kia and Mitsubishi both have more range and cost a little bit less. But now, let's drive. So, Mazda focuses on vehicle dynamics far more than other automakers do, but I've got to say, the CX-90 here is pretty disappointing to drive. The ride, for instance, it's not harsh, but it's still very firm, and yet you get a pronounced amount of body roll in corners, which I don't understand. The steering is also unnecessarily heavy, yet it's also quite dull. I don't get any feedback from the front tires. And beyond that, the CX-90 needs constant course corrections to stay in the middle of the lane. It's always sort of wandering from left to right, and I don't recall another modern vehicle that requires so much attention just to stay on the straight and narrow. The transmission is also surprisingly clunky, especially in electric mode, which is really weird because EVs typically don't have multi-ratio gearboxes. There's one reduction ratio and that's it, yet Mazda for some reason routes the electric motor torque through the transmission, which is again just really odd. Beyond all of that, the performance in EV mode is just adequate. This vehicle's electric drive motor provides 173 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque, which is enough for everyday driving, for trundling along, but the CX-90 can feel a bit overmatched at times because remember, this is a 5,243 pound SUV. 5,243 pounds before you add any people or cargo. But when the combustion engine engages, that is when the real magic happens. If you're in the normal driving mode or EV mode and you get on the accelerator pedal really hard, the CX-90 transforms into an absolute beast, rocketing you forward. The speed is seriously impressive. And beyond that, this four-cylinder engine is shockingly smooth and it sounds pretty good too. For added capability, this plug-in hybrid utility vehicle also comes standard with all-wheel drive, plus it can tow up to 3,500 pounds. Improving safety and convenience, every version of the CX-90 PHEV should come standard with features like adaptive cruise control, front and rear parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and much more. But at this point, let's recap the strengths and weaknesses of this plug-in hybrid utility vehicle and then wrap up this review. So, in the pluses column, this SUV looks absolutely gorgeous. The acceleration provided by that electrified drivetrain is incredible. The interior is stunning. There's plenty of cargo space, and the gas engine is both smooth and sonorous. As for downsides, the transmission is pretty clunky, especially in EV mode. That infotainment system is merely okay. This Mazda's ride and handling are surprisingly disjointed, and the all-electric range could certainly be better, especially compared to rival SUVs. So there you go, that's a quick look at the 2026 Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Now, this mid-range premium sport model is a bit pricier than the entry-level trim, though not a whole lot. As it sits, this one should check out for $57,625, including $595 for rhodium white paint and, of course, $1,530 in destination fees. Now, that is certainly not a cheap MSRP, but I don't think it's really luxury car territory, at least not these days. The CX-90's stunning exterior and beautiful cabin are clearly a cut above what you get from mainstream SUVs, though this Mazda does have a few surprising rough edges. However, if the automaker can smooth those out, this would be a very easy plug-in hybrid to recommend. Next up, if you want a vehicle that's even more versatile than the CX-90, you've got to check out the Toyota Sienna. This minivan sips fuel, and it's got an absolutely cavernous interior, and you can check out my full review of this vehicle next by clicking the link right over here.